Hello, everybody. This is Murray back with you on this November the 2nd edition of the Lavaca County News Reviews. And I'm here with my co-host, Hans.
Welcome back.
And we're going to run through these papers and give you an idea of what's in them. There's a lot of news in them, and we won't be able to cover all of it, but that's a reason for you to pick up your paper and look at it. So we're going to start off with this young lady that's going to be retiring from police work here in Hallettsville. What have you got on that, Hans?
Well, I had the opportunity to sit down and chat with Lieutenant Erica Padilla of the Hallettsville Police Department, and she is going to be laying down her badge after 25 years in law enforcement. She worked in both Victoria Police Department for 15 years and then came over to Hallettsville for the last 10 years. And she's really involved with the community. I got a chance to ride around with the Hallettsville Police Department for the National Night Out a couple weeks ago, and I saw them embracing everybody in the community. I thought it was crazy that they had so many friends and new people at every house.
Right. We're very fortunate here in Hallettsville with our police force. They are with the community. They're out there. If you need them, they're there whenever you do need them. And this young lady that you wrote about, Padilla, I read through that this morning, and I don't know her personally, but she's got quite a lot of accomplishments in her training and everything else. So we're mighty lucky to have her, and of course we hate to see her go, but hopefully she'll enjoy her retirement.
And another neat thing about Lieutenant Padilla is that she has been the only female officer in the department here in Hallettsville, I believe, since 2015. So it's been 17 years if those numbers are correct.
Yeah, it's been a while. I vaguely remember that we had a young lady on there before, but it's been a while. I can't tell you exactly how long, but it's been a while.
Maybe she'll help usher in the next female officer. If not, then she could serve as a great source of inspiration for them.
Yeah, she's an example of what these young women can do if they set their mind to do it. And we have all over the country, we have a lot of female officers. So anyway, congratulations to her, and I hope she does enjoy her retirement.
Yep, thank you and congratulations. And her retirement party is going to be in December. It's listed in that story there. It's going to be at the City Hall here in Hallettsville at 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. on Thursday, December 1st. And then if you are looking at the Hallettsville Tribune-Herald's front page, just below that story about Lieutenant Padilla, we have a story about the flood control goats. They were going to be scheduled to come out here to Lavaca County, right above that bridge, just north of that bridge on 90A.
Right.
There's a very, very thick area of foliage that would be tough for different machinery to get to. So the Lavaca River Flood Control District 3 opted to look into these goats to help clear that foliage.
So we're going to have a herd of vegetation clearing goats. Now, I have never heard of that. I know that people in the country that have goats, a lot of times they have them just for that purpose, to clear out the grass. But I had never heard of flood control people using them. So that's an unusual and very interesting story.
Yeah, I got to talk to the co-owner and manager of Rent a Ruminant, which is this organization that has these goats. And he said that really any ruminant, so cows or camels, I believe, they could do the same job, but these goats are particularly effective. They can have over 100 at a time, just clearing the vegetation. And I asked him, why is it important to have these goats out there? And basically, the foliage and the different vegetation has overgrown to the point that if there is a lot of rain, could cause some backup and actually could cause flooding. So that's why it's important to have them. But as the headline in the story reveals, these goats are going to be delayed until springtime at the earliest because the grass to go dormant, and it's actually poisonous to the goats if they consume it. So they're going to just come back once the grass is alive and well in the springtime.
Yeah, I had never heard of anything harming a goat, People that lived on the farms and all, they used to say that a goat can eat anything, but evidently we were wrong about that. So
yeah, not dead Johnson grass.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be interesting when they do bring them back. I'd like to see that.
Well, they encourage citizens and the public to go out there and witness them, and while they will be doing their job, you're not supposed to pet them because they'd be eating poison ivy, so you'd end up getting itchy just touching them. But it will be a cool thing to see.
Just watch and stay away from the goat.
Exactly. Now moving over to the Yoakum Herald Times this week, we got some big news out of the Yoakum Economic Development Corporation, also known as the YEDC. The executive director, Terry Stokes, who's been there since January of 2020 and helped guide the corporation through the pandemic and helped start many initiatives over there, announced his resignation in October, and it was formally received by the Yoakum Economic Development Board there last week. So he is going to be resigning, and they're now looking for different ways to fill that position, and that will be discussed further at the next meeting, November 21st.
Yeah, from what I have been able to read in your article, I don't think they were expecting him to resign, were they?
Now that some city staff over there told me that everybody was caught short by his decision, but when talking to him, he said that he had a different vision of the future of the YEDC and how they how he thought that the board should approach things going forward, and thought it was just a good time for him to get out of the way and let them achieve their goals.
Well, I hope he has success wherever he goes from here. And I thought that was pretty honorable to, if you didn't particularly see the same way that other people see, to go ahead and move on and let them do their thing.
Yep, just gracefully step out of the way.
Right.
And as far as news for all around the county, all around the state, even, and many other states, the midterms are coming up with Election Day being next week, November 8th.
Yeah, I think Friday is your last day to early vote. So if you haven't voted already, get out there and do it. It's very important. Hans was telling me earlier that he had seen where the percentage of people turning out to early vote is down. So you need to get out there and get it done, folks.
Yep, local media sources have reported that early voting has been down 20 to 30% in some areas, and that's from midterms in 2018. So it's down probably significantly more from the presidential election in 2020. So if you find yourself wanting to vote, educated, and wanting to voice your opinion this year in the ballot, then definitely make your way out to the polling locations. And we have our polling locations listed thanks to Ace reporter Jimmy Appelt in several stories around the county, and that is in the Lavaca County voting locations. Now, as far as Election Day voting locations in DeWitt County, that will be featured in the Yoakum Herald Times as well.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that the voting is down because of all the things going on in our country right now. Let's just go ahead and say it like it is. Our country is greatly divided as far as political things. So if you want a voice in this election, you need to get out there now and get it done. Don't put it off because it's very, very important.
Yeah, hopefully this just means that there's going to be a lot of voters there on election day.
Yeah, yeah. And you can avoid the lines by going right now.
Exactly. And so this was also a huge week in Lavaca County sports. It looks like in Hallettsville this week, the Brahmas had a shocking win, according to our senior sports editor, Chuck Graff.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, they beat Hitchcock, and Hitchcock had already beaten Columbus, who had defeated the Brahmas before, and Hitchcock was on their way as far as the ratings. I don't want to say exactly, but I believe that they were ranked number 2 in their division. And Hallettsville knocked them off, and they did it in a fine fashion. So congratulations to all the boys on the Hallettsville Brahmas. That's a great win.
Yeah, Chuck writes that it was quite the fun game to watch. In fact, it was a home game here in Hallettsville. They were down 21-7 at halftime, and then they came out of the locker room and rallied a comeback, not allowing a single score in the second half, with the final score being 42-21. So congratulations, and I'm sure that was a super exciting scene there at the stadium.
Yeah, that was an awesome game, and I'm sorry that I missed it because I sure would have liked to have seen that. And Chuck's got some more things on the sports page about the cross country and volleyball, but you'll just need to pick up your paper and check it out because, as usual, Chuck's got a lot of news about sports.
Yep, and heading into Yoakum Sports for this week, we actually have three different pages of sports. We write about or actually, our sports editor in Yoakum and Shiner, Mark Luby, writes about the St. Joseph Tigers winning their second perfect season and a third title. So congratulations for them. We have a big story and a big team picture on page 4 rather.
I believe they play six-man football at St. Joseph. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And this is a third title that they have received as the best six-man football team in the area, and they had this big win against Trinity Episcopal of Victoria. So, congratulations, as Hans said. That's really an accomplishment.
And we have some other big news out of Yoakum Sports on page 5. The Bulldogs secured a spot in the playoffs with a district win this week over the Hempstead Bobcats. So congratulations to them. And we have Gisela Martinez advancing the state as we talked about last week for cross country. She's going to be competing in Round Rock this Saturday. So good luck to her. And there's actually going to be a huge community send-off. Well, hopefully a huge community send-off near the Dairy Queen on Highway 77A this Friday. So we'll be cheering you on as you run this Saturday morning, Gisela.
Yeah, that was a great accomplishment too. And one other thing about the Yoakum Bulldogs, I don't believe we mentioned that they'll be playing Hallettsville.
Oh, yes, we did not.
And the game was scheduled for Friday, but because they're expecting inclement weather and lightning, they've moved it back to Thursday. I believe it's
7:30.
7:30. So if you didn't know about that and you don't think your friends know about it, be sure and spread the word because this is unusual, to be moving it to Thursday. But we just have to offer congratulations to both teams. Of course, we all have certain ones we're pulling for, but the main thing is that nobody gets injured. Everybody gets there safely and gets home safely.
Yes, this is going to be a big game for them since we're so close to the playoffs. Obviously, the towns are close, so there's going to be a lot of desire to win, a lot of desire to prove yourself relative to your county neighbors. This is going to be a fun game to watch. They've secured a spot at the playoffs already, but still, this is a good opportunity for them to play. And additionally, for the Yoakum Sports, rather, the Yoakum Bulldog band rounded out their season last week. They had a competition, and they did go to finals. They competed in the area finals, so congratulations to them, and thanks for cheering on all the Yoakum Sports throughout this season so far, and good job to you guys.
Yeah, I think they have a big picture of the band. I forget what page that's on. It's in the Yoakum paper.
Yep, it is featured right in here, and that is on page 9, right in color, and it takes the whole page.
Yeah, page 9. It's a 6-column all the way across at the top, so be sure and check that out.
All right, and that covers most of the sports. There's going to be plenty else for you guys to read. For example,
yeah, St. Paul and Shiner, they lost in a close match in the by-district round, but they had a great year, and our sports editor over there, Mark Luby, wrote this story. They played in Conroe, and the Lady Cards also took a third place at state with in the cross country, I believe that was. Yeah. So read your Shiner sports as well as all the rest of them, and I guess I'm going to talk about Moulton sports.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, let's round it up with them.
Moulton is a 2-section paper, which is kind of unusual for it, but we're glad it got to be that big. And there's a story about the cross country. The kittens and the cats are headed to state meet. Both Moulton girls and boys regional cross country teams will run at the state meet after both of them came out third. And we also have some color pictures of the Halloween contest and all that inside and on the back pages. So there's still plenty of Halloween stuff to go around. So check it out.
All right. And lastly, before we go, make sure to adjust your clocks this Sunday going into Monday for daylight savings. It's going to be officially at 2 a.m., and that is turning the clock back, correct?
Yeah, that's so. They encourage people to turn it back on Saturday night, I believe, before they go to bed. But regardless, yeah, you turn it back. And also, I wanted to mention the website, lavacacountytoday.com. Don't forget, friends, that you can go up there and see a lot of things that are not in the papers, all the time. And some of that might be obituaries if you like to keep track of those. So we want to encourage you to go look at that site. And a lot of the material on there is free, but after a while it gets changed into a premium where you have to subscribe. And I would encourage you to do that because you don't even have to have a hard copy of the newspaper at home. You can be anywhere and look at lavacacountytoday.com and see your latest issue.
Exactly. It's more content, it's up to date, and a lot of our favorite articles, columns, that type of thing may only be featured on there. So we appreciate the support for all the readers that like to check us out online. Other than that, thank you for listening, thank you for reading, and we look forward to seeing everybody again next week.
We appreciate it, folks. Thanks a bunch.